Hey everyone, so it's like 4 p.m. ish on a Sunday, and I decided I wanted to do a week in my life vlog to show you guys what it's like living sustainably when you are not home. Because currently I'm at my mom's, and there are a lot of things here that are not set up according to me, obviously, which also means that they're not set up to be sustainable. But the culture I live in is inherently sustainable in many aspects. So there's also that, and I just wanted to talk to you guys and share all of that. All I can focus on is the light reflecting off my specs. So let's get into it. Done with my work for the day because I'm a freelancer and I did not get any specific task assigned to me today. Right? I have posted on my blog, Anjali Rumta's Musings. Do check that out. And what I'm planning to do with the rest of my day, since I don't feel particularly inclined to taking a day off, is I'm going to create content for the week ahead, part of which is this vlog. And I have to study because masters is kicking my ass. Am I allowed to say that on YouTube?
Just watching some sustainability content to see what's up with the scene.
Got bored of watching content. I'm just walking around trying to get my steps in. Like, that's not the purpose. I just like walking around aimlessly in my corridor, and that's one cool thing that I did want to show you guys. Come here, let's get a little up. So these paintings that are in this corridor, right, there's quite a few of them that I'm trying to get in the frame, right? All of these, they were actually calendar pages that my mom, after the calendar year was done, ripped out and decided to turn into sort of art. And I love that because that's such underconsumption core, reuse core vibes right there, and that's extremely sustainable, and it also preserves beauty and art, something I inherently love. So yeah, I'm just gonna get my steps in now. After annoying my family and taking a walk, I am back with my books to try and apply myself to something productive. And before that, I used this because this is what my mom had, and it's what I always use despite it being not very sustainable. Like, I prefer Kamarka to Eco Store's coconut oil because it's way more sustainable, but this is what's widely available to take care of my skin. It was like literally flaking off due to dryness, extremely gross. So yeah, let's get studying. Clearly not a very organized human being.
Now we are on our way to get a new phone for my husband since his old phone broke. We tried to repair it multiple times, but apparently the card itself is shorted, which I don't know if it's just advancement in technology or planned opulence. But yeah, time to shop.
So after a mini emotional upheaval in the store, we're back home. Basically, what happened was I went in with the thought that I would buy a Fairphone or a Nokia smartphone because those seemed to be on the better end of sustainability. I also had like Google Pixel as a last ditch option, but the first two were not available in the store, and my parents don't approve of buying online because they feel like you can get bad tech that way. And the last one, while available, seemed to be not like very widely available, which meant that with all three of them there would be problems getting them repaired should they have problems functioning, because they just wouldn't be available, the parts required, etc. And so I had to go with a phone by a company that's not very sustainable, that's not very fair trade, that's not very, like they say they are, and they do have certain apps on their phone that are like geared towards making your phone more climate friendly, making your life more climate friendly. But at least on like all the third party websites I saw, they weren't rated very highly, right? But even though I had an emotional upheaval and I was like really, really mad for a while, and I think my partner picked up on that. Like I was like, why can't you just take a refurbished phone? And he is very, very scared of bugs, and that he said that there can be sometimes impossible to remove, even though one YouTuber that I love, Gitty Mary Johnson, did let me know of a software which can remove bugs. He just wasn't convinced. And then I realized that's what realistic sustainability is. He is a very sustainable person, and this is one place where he just cannot be. Because A, the system is not allowing him by not making those sustainable phones popular or available. And B, he has a fear which is rational to him, and which is rational because sometimes bugs cannot be removed. And he wants to protect himself. There's nothing wrong with that. So the most sustainable thing to do is to buy him a phone that he will use for a very long time. His last phone lasted him almost a decade, right? Despite, like, I don't know whether it's planned opulence or whether it's just technology aging, because after a while technology does change. I don't know what's the deal with that phone, but yeah. So I just got that. Same thing, I got a cover for my phone, and at first I was like, hey, no, I don't want to get silicone or plastic, but then I realized that's better than breaking my phone. And now I'm not going to get a sustainable cover in its place, because I don't need two covers, that would be wasteful. And apparently the material that I got is recycled, so I'm feeling a little better about that, but that could just be greenwashing. But yeah, that was mostly my day. Like I came home, spent time with family, felt a little agitated over the whole thing, felt a little not heard, felt like, hey, what's the point of doing all of this work, studying sustainability science, making YouTube videos, writing blogs, if like the people in my own circle are not being sustainable. And then I realized that's not the goal. The goal is to help people who want to be sustainable breathe easier, because we are not in a system made for it. The goal is not to feel bad because there are people who don't want to be sustainable. That's their life, that's their choice, that's their journey. Though yeah, it does irk you a little when you make something and the people closest to you are not affected by it, because you're like, if these people are not affected, is there anyone else affected? But I also know everyone is affected, in my close circle at least, because my sister does try and buy me sustainable stuff. And there's this fine balancing, right? You have to look smart, you have to look part of society, you have to look acceptable while also being sustainable. And while I personally don't care about the first part, there might be people who do, and if that's important to them, I cannot judge them for it. So that was mostly my day. I don't think anything fun's gonna happen. Like, I'm gonna have deep conversations, I'm gonna sit back down to studies, because that's it. And then I'm gonna crash, maybe after watching YouTube videos or reading a book, I don't know. See you all tomorrow morning. And before I go, this vlog is in no way a comprehensive outlook at my life. Excuse the background noise, right? It's just a glimpse of what I feel comfortable showing you, and in the manner I feel it's best delivered to you. So don't judge yourself thinking, oh, look at her life, look at what she's doing, look at what. That's not how it works. That's really not how it works. You are doing your best, so am I, and we can all do better. And we can also all take a break. That's adulting. See you tomorrow. So it's Monday morning. Mondays are my day off, and I try to be really strict about that to prevent burnout. So let's get going. Just a side note, I am trying really hard not to show what I eat in this vlog, because that can really impact people. And while I have a diet given to me by a nutritionist that I try to follow, I almost always feel abysmally at that, especially when I am at somebody else's place, because I'm crap at advocating for myself and I just eat whatever is cooked for everyone else. So yeah, that's your daily reminder. If you are somewhere for long, try and adjust obviously, but also remember to advocate for yourself and make sure your basic needs are met. After whiling away a few hours and spending time with my family, I finally decided to take a bath, and you can see my skincare in the background. Let's just chat while I wait for my hair to dry. Like, I usually have a hot cup of tea alongside, but I just had tea in the morning, so I'm thinking maybe I can skip that, though I know that will give me a headache and I don't want to use a blow dryer. But anyway, the thing that I was saying about my skincare, or rather my body care, because my skincare is different, I have a video linked up below for my nighttime skincare routine. Don't follow it, go to your dermat, get your own thing. I have to go to a dermat, clearly. I'm just trying to find one whose ethics align with me. But basically my mom was told that Dove is the best product by her dermat, and despite knowing it's a polluter, I don't want to stay in her house and tell her, oh, you have to buy these specific new products for me. I can. If I do, she won't say no, but the idea is to use what we have before we buy new sustainable swaps. And now the thing there is, like, okay, let's say I replace all my skincare with sustainable swaps that work for me, obviously, and these just stay in my house at rot. Years later, they'll still end up in the landfill. Now, by that time, we could have technologies that could make these harmless, or we could not. But in this case, I feel like the conventional wisdom makes more sense. Use what you have because it has used up resources. I was thinking the same thing about the phone, like I told you guys about just a little while back, right? Now, would it be better if I just bought a fair phone and replaced it every time it broke? Maybe, because it encourages fair phone, they are taking resources fairly, they're paying people fair wages, right? And their old phone can be recycled. Maybe that would be better, but there must be a reason people are saying that use what you have. And obviously, even if they're taking resources fairly, resources are still finite, right? So, I don't know, I'm confused here. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments while I go have that cup of tea. Here's the thing though, I have been feeling kind of irritable and lonely for the past few days, and I'm hoping this will help if I can't focus on this. Well, you like what I do next, hopefully. So I was struggling a lot with this chapter, and also my entire body hurts because PMS is the bane of my existence. So I took a dancing break, chatted with my girlfriend, spent time with my partner, tried to arrange a meeting because I have to go somewhere and I wanted to see if I could multitask and meet my friends at the same time. Unfortunately, that's not going to be possible. But yeah, I am back to trying to apply myself to mineral deposits, and I don't think it's happening. I'm at my mom's. I don't have to do a lot of chores here, which is why you don't see that throughout the day, except give her meds on time and just take a look at what's going on around the house. So let's get going with such sympathy for Gimli and Philly and Killy right now. This is what they had to learn in mining, because mineral resources and mining is making me cry. I had to literally call my partner and be like, help me put this in Lord of the Rings terms so that I can remember. So I'm using my mom's hair serum because again the idea is to use what we have before buying new. But yeah, none of this is sustainable products. So I don't know. Like, I'm vegan, but I don't like zucchini. So as I was saying, I think RAB has sustainable hair serums, but I only use these when going out. Otherwise, I use the medicated one my doctor gave me. So there's that. I am using Dot & Key's sunscreen. I have a review of the company's sustainable policies and their Earth Care page on the blog, but they are vegan, even if they aren't like 100% sustainable. Personally, I prefer the sunscreen from No Rubbish, but I got this one as a gift from my sister, so I'm gonna use it till it runs out. And you can always send like the empties if they meet their criteria back to Dot & Key, so really appreciate that. I personally prefer skincare where you can just reuse the empties and also send them back, and where it is said that where they are being recycled, but you can have everything in life. It's all dry now, and now I'm gonna see if I can get more skincare because I'm almost running out of the ones that I do have. And as always, I'm going to use what I have, or rather what my mom has, before I order new.
This was one of the moments where staying somewhere else was particularly infuriating because my mom cleaned out my low waist bag and I had to set it back up. And the whole time I was worried I would forget something. Will have to admit wasn't particularly realistically sustainable. Got a little annoyed at her but mostly respectful, so I guess that works too.
So it's Tuesday morning, which means it's reading day. But I don't have a specific day for reading. I read whenever the mood strikes, and I really wanted to play my guitar, but mom's accidentally locked it up in the room. I did play it yesterday after so many years, like after 6 years, and even though I've forgotten mostly everything, it was so nice. I think a huge part of sustainability is engaging with art, creating your own art, even if it's not for professional sake, it's just art for art's sake, like engaging in experiences over items. And I love this bookmark because my best friend gifted it to me as a wedding gift. That's so cute. I'll be calling my editor about my upcoming books on sustainable fabrics. Sustainable fabrics in India, obviously.
So those are my Wi-Fi switches and I'm gonna unplug this device even though it's switched off because vampire electricity.
Again with another update. Now I'm gonna start working on my research paper, which I'm writing with a friend, on how to make sustainable fabrics trendy and affordable. I work a lot with sustainable fabrics, but let's get into it. So I just realized this cool fact, which it's stupid that I didn't know, but denim's made from cotton, really. Also, one of my all-time favorite fabrics, since I'm working on this so much, banana fabric. I recently gifted it to someone, and so I'm gonna keep working on my research paper and check back with you guys later.
This is me working on my assignment for this organization called ICYN, which I'm on a part of, in this program called Youth for COP. It's really exciting. They give us these sessions on climate justice and other topics like that to prepare us for COP.
Here was another thing I wanted to show you all, because
This is where all the household waste from my mom's house goes into. And obviously that's a non-biodegradable bag and all the wet and dry waste is going into it together, which isn't good. But at first I thought of sorting it and telling them to sort it differently and all that, but then I realized it's going to go in that big blue bucket which has all the waste together. So
was a weekend in my sustainable life at my mother's. I don't think it's very different from when I was not sustainable. My goals are still to include exercise and skincare in my daily routine. And yeah, I just have a low waste bag now, and I want to sort waste into different containers. I don't think that's such a big deal. Let me know what you all think, and stay tuned for part 2 where I show you 3 days of my work week.